I'd like to welcome you to WCPT AM's Out Chicago. Think of us as Sunday brunch with your gay best friends. Now please welcome your host, Scott Duff.
And a happy Sunday fun day to everybody out there. Welcome to Out Chicago. Scott Duff here, along with Ellen Miller.
Good morning, Scott.
Top of the morning to you,
to
as we are on this St. Patty's Day weekend, or as I like to call it, Straight Pride. Yes, Straight Pride is in full effect, was in full effect.
Sure was.
There we are. Any piles of green puke that you jumped over in your neighborhood?
Not yet.
Not yet? Oh,
No,
but the
I haven't
day
done
is
my
young.
walk yet. Yeah,
but it's going to rain. Fortunately,
Thank
it's
God
raining
for
today
that.
to wash away all of the green puke from the. Again, I don't get it. That's why I choose to celebrate Liza Minnelli's birthday.
There you go.
She turned 80. She turned 80 this week.
Liza.
I know, Liza with a Z, and we watched Liza with a Z on her birthday too.
Oh, that's so perfect.
You know, I don't. Okay, true confessions.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen it all the way through.
What?
Liza with a Z.
I haven't.
Well, but you're a lesbian.
Yeah, right.
There we are. I'm a gay
But
man.
You're right. It's required viewing.
It's
for
required
you.
viewing. So I
That's
finally
correct. That's
was
right.
checked that.
How
Holy
what? Was it great?
girl, it's so good. She is a freaking powerhouse.
She is.
She was amazing. There was only one real one
Cringy?
moment.
Was it
Well,
cringy?
yeah, it was just song choice.
Oh.
Like she did a rendition of Mammy. That doesn't age very well.
No.
You know, it just does not
How
age.
I love ya. How I love ya.
But then, of course, you're thinking that her mammy, she was thinking about mommy,
Right.
which is mama, Miss Judy Garland.
Right, of course.
But like I also just wonder like how much cocaine was used during the taping of that.
Yeah, we know she
that
had
show.
a rough past.
She had a rough past and everything, but boy, oh boy.
I saw her live a couple times. So it
You
was-
did?
Yes, I did. Yes.
All right.
Once was at the Holiday Star Theater with my mother. I brought my mom.
All right. Where's the Holiday Star Theater?
Well, it's no longer. It was in right across the border in Indiana.
oh, okay. So it was
Yeah, but it
in
was
Indiana.
In Indiana.
All right.
But close. And I saw her on I got to go see Oprah her last season. Oprah's last season. And Liza was one of the guests. Jon Stewart and Liza. I was on
What?
for that day.
That
yeah.
is quite the show.
That was.
The one Oprah that I went to go see was with Brad Pitt.
Oh.
And that horrible movie,
I would have
Meet Joe
traded
Black.
with you.
Girl, no, you wouldn't.
Oh, no.
Because you had to get there so super early.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Like, we were there at 6 o'clock in the
I
morning
had
and
to
then
get there early.
loaded onto a bus and then shuffle off to Michigan Avenue to go watch that horrible movie,
no, we didn't do
Meet
that.
Joe Black.
Oh, no, we didn't do that. No.
So it was like, yeah, that whole thing was like, it was a crazy experience because I was still working in Navy Pier as a part of the improv company, and three of it, like one of my friends got it. So there were three of us that went. It was Michelle, Mike, and me. And Mike and I were basically two of maybe four guys in the entire audience. And so we got there. It was early. We went and watched this movie. They gave us like a little tiny popcorn and a little tiny soda at 8 o'clock in the morning. We watched this movie it was a 2.5 hour kind of extravaganza. And then when we got out, everybody had to pee.
Yeah.
Since we were
Sure.
four guys.
Yeah.
Everybody, all the women were using the men's room as, like, let's do it. I'm like, yeah, go for it. But so we got on the last bus to get in there. And then so you had to go through security and all that stuff. And they were giving us a box lunch. And by the time like we got through security and they got our box lunch, they called our number to go into the studio, but we couldn't bring our food in. So we were just didn't get to eat. And then Brad Pitt was really boring. He was so boring.
Yeah.
He was really boring. Like and it was visibly.
You could have turned the sound off, but you couldn't do that there.
No, because we were all just sitting there,
Yeah.
and like literally halfway through, because it was live to tape, halfway through during what was supposed to be a commercial break, they came out like, "All right, folks, we need more energy," and I was just like, "Tell him to be more interesting. He's
Right.
boring." Anyway,
Yeah, our show was good. And
well,
we
great because you had Liza Minnelli.
And at the end, Lululemon, even after the cameras were off, Lululemon founders were in the audience, and they were there to thank Oprah, and they wanted to thank us, and they gave everybody a Lululemon bag filled with Lululemon things.
Look, I do not enjoy their bags that they, with like, live, laugh, love, like all those
those
little
kind of
inspirational
bags. Yeah,
little
this was
totes and everything. But their stuff is really good.
Oh, yeah, and the bag was a really cool,
Oh, it was a
black-
good bag. I'm just talking about the little
no,
totes that
this
they
is
give
a
you
big,
to carry stuff
beautiful
out.
bag that we still travel
Oh,
with.
all right, come on.
It was 2010. We were on it. That's the last Oprah season, believe it or not.
I believe it.
2010, yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy. But anyway, it was a fun experience. I was happy to be there. And Liza was great.
And Liza.
And Jon Stewart was
And
great.
Liza.
Yeah. It was,
Look, Liza's still like, talk about somebody who just, you cannot keep her down.
no.
You cannot keep her down.
you
Just so
can't.
amazing.
And Melissa Etheridge and her partner were celebrating Liza's birthday the other day. They're big fans and friends of hers. I thought that was pretty cute.
Come on.
Yeah.
Well, they wheeled her out at
wheeled her out.
at the Glad Media Awards
Yes.
last week.
That's
And she showed up.
She's always been a supporter. She even married gay men. That's how much she supported.
She did. What was the name of David? What was his name?
David.
The one with the glasses.
Yes.
He lived in Memphis
when you
for
were
a
there?
while. Yeah, when I was there, and I actually ran into him. He was coming into a restaurant as I was leaving. I'm like, oh, it was very strange. But anyway.
Anyway, we
happy
digress.
happy birthday
Happy
to
birthday,
Liza.
Liza.
She's got a new book
Yes.
out and everything. So
She's still doing it.
She is. She's still doing it. And we're still doing it, too.
Yes, we are.
We've got a great show for you today. Hey, just a reminder, everybody out there, you've got until March 17th to cast your vote in the Illinois primary. And all of us at WCPT have been fortunate enough to have conversations with several of the candidates. And today, we are joined by Congresswoman Robin Kelly, who is running to fill Dick Durbin's seat in the U.S. Senate. We're going to be speaking with her later on this hour. And Thompson Street Opera Company kicks off 2026 with the world premiere of Off Nights at the Sometimes Cafe, a joyful queer cabaret work by non-binary composer Dave Walther, artistic director of Thompson Street Opera Company, and the show's director Claire DeVizio. They're going to be joining us in the second hour. And today is the highest of all holy days. It is
Yes.
Oscar Sunday. Well, it's one of the several of the high gay
Yes,
holidays.
yes, it
You've
is.
got Pride, Halloween, Oscars,
That's pretty much.
the Tonys.
The Tonys. Don't forget the Tonys.
I will think that Thanksgiving is in there as well, so the gays get to show off their culinary prowess. But today is Oscar Sunday.
It is.
And I could not think of a better person to have on this show than to spend it with actor, comedian, writer Alex Grelly, who's getting ready to open the world premiere of Grelly Duvall Best Actress, featuring the award-winning performances and iconic cinematic moments that have inspired generations. I cannot wait. Girl, Alex Grelly is just like a genius.
He is.
So freaking funny. So freaking funny and doing their own thing. So excited. The show's gonna be at the Chopin Theater. Opens this week.
Perfect.
It's already started performances. So yeah. But yeah. Anyway, and also the phone and the text line for us are open right now. We would love to hear from you. So give us a call or text us at 773-763-9278. That number again is 773-763-9278. Of course, you can listen to Out Chicago live Sundays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Central on 820 a.m. on TuneIn from heartlandsignal.com, or you can watch the live video stream on the WCPT Facebook page or the Heartland Signal YouTube page. And just a reminder that Heartland Signal has a brand new free newsletter. Every week, Heartland Signal's head of research, Aaron Kleiman, delivers Radio Free America, highlighting stories that matter in state politics but aren't getting enough attention. So subscribe today and give it the attention. Attention must be paid. That's a Tony thing. That was a big line. That's like the end of Death of a Salesman. You're welcome.
Did not know that.
Laurie Metcalf is going to be doing that with Nathan Lane on the Broadway. Death of a Salesman.
I did hear that.
I know, yeah. Anyway, so subscribe today at heartlandsignal.com/newsletters. So how are you holding up there, Ellen Miller?
We hit the ground running when we got back, the middle of the night last week. Did the show, been busy. I did get to see Patti Smith, the iconic Patti Smith. She is a gift. She is just her poetry, her songs, her spirit is. And, we've always.
Jerry's a big fan.
Well, Jerry's a smart man.
Yeah.
And she's just something special. And I saw her in December at the Chicago Theater and was thrilled to see her there. But they did a quick It was announced literally 2 days before we left to Mexico, and it happened 2 days after we got back at the Old Town School.
So nice, intimate setting.
Oh my
going
God,
on.
just so intimate and so special, and just I just felt blessed to be there, and ran into a lot of friends, as you might imagine. So that was just fantastic. On Tuesday night, she did 2 shows. We were there at the early, and then Friday night we managed to get into the sold out. Mike Shannon, actor Mike Shannon, who's one of the founders of Red Orchid.
Big old pumpkin head.
And he has taken on this in the last, since I guess 2023, so this is going on the 3rd year, of being Michael Stipe as REM, the band REM.
Oh,
and
yeah.
He's been touring the country and the world with some Chicago musician friends of mine and some other great musicians. Jason Narducci, who's a Chicago man, and Vijay Tellis and Dog Julin are in his band, as well as the bass player John Surratt from Wilco, and the drummer whose name I can't remember, who's also in Bob Mould and a bunch of bands that Jason's in. Anyway, to see an actor, I always say actors want to be musicians and musicians want to be actors.
Actors want to be directors.
Well,
usually.
You've got, Bill Murray touring in living his blues dream and all this other stuff. But anyway, Michael Shannon brings it, man. They did like 2 hours plus of REM material.
All right, come on
and
now.
And he just killed it. And the crowd was fun. It was a lot of, we were up in...
For some reason, I can't see Michael Shannon being Michael Stipe. Like his vocal quality just seems different, but I bet he does a great job.
He does a great job.
Because he's a talented man.
They're bringing this show back in the fall.
Where was it?
It was at the Metro.
Metro, okay.
In the fall, it'll be at the Riviera.
Oh, all right.
And it's already selling there's still tickets available. So if
All
you're
right.
an REM fan, if you're a Michael Shannon fan, if you want to support our Chicago musicians that are backing him up, it was, the thing is, I understood the lyrics better with Michael Shannon singing them than Michael Stipe.
Well,
he was a better enunciator for sure as an actor, as a trained actor. So that was a blast. And then there was yesterday, the Straight Pride, as Scott likes to call it. I do my walk. I ended up getting trapped. I stupidly, for the 2nd year in a row, was on Clark Street, where the streets are blocked off. You have to go through like a checkpoint. I'm like, I'm just a walker.
You have to go through a checkpoint?
Well, you have to walk through. Yes, there are police officers to kind of.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Cut
I mean, they
back
were
on
out
some of
there.
the
It was
shenanigans.
sanctioned. But last night, my brother's band was playing at a bar on Lake Street downtown. And.
But your brother's in a band?
Yeah, he's in 2 bands.
Oh, I didn't know that. How did I never know that?
He's in a country rock band, and he's in a power pop band. And the country rock band is more my style, and I often sit in with them. And I thought, if people are going to go to this country bar, maybe it won't be,
To St. Patrick's.
To St. Patrick's.
Yeah.
So we went to a little birthday party next door at our neighbor Zach's, and then we drove downtown. Got a great parking spot. Hey, this bodes well. We're real close. And I walk in. I go, is it real crazy? To the doorman, he goes, well, it is St. Patrick's Day. People are intoxicated. And then there's somebody like pushing a comatose-looking fella out the door as we're about to go in.
Oh.
We walk in. It is the S show that so many bars are by
Lovely
about 9:30,
parade.
quarter to 10.
Yeah.
And I looked at, and the band was starting at 10. They were doing a limbo, so they put a string across at the front of in front of the stage on the dance. I'm like, can I get my cover back? Because I didn't want my brother to see me or the rest of the band who I know.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't. I
can't do this.
Kathy goes, what did you expect? I go, well,
It's true.
I thought maybe since it was a band and people had to pay a cover that maybe it would have been
because at that point.
I had to relearn the lesson that you do not go anywhere that's serving alcohol unless it's a restaurant on St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
So I snuck out. We got in the
Atta
car
girl.
and we went
Atta
home.
girl. Did you go home? Did you put on comfy clothes?
And we had our
Did you put on comfy clothes?
former tenant.
Did you have a snack?
We had
Did you have a
tea.
snack?
I lit a fire.
Yeah.
No, we don't eat after 8.
Yeah.
But
That's right. You're on that
But
thing.
we lit a fire, and our tenant, who we hadn't seen in a while, was in the neighborhood. She goes, can I come over? I go, yes, we'll be home in 15 minutes. I can't wait to see you.
See?
So, yes, I needed to be reminded of that horribleness.
But this is what I've become. All I want to do is stay home and be cozy. And everything.
I mean, a night like last night, for sure. But
bro, it was so cold last night too. We went. Speaking of we went to go to the opening night of White Rooster at Looking Glass last night.
I haven't seen a show there, and I know they
Me
suspended
too
shows
neither.
for a while.
Yeah, I think everybody, the Chicago theater community has been hit pretty hard in terms of like the pandemic and with the economy going and like everybody trying to figure out what's going on. Like I'm really, it's going to be very interesting to see what Michigan Avenue turns into, because there's
stores leaving and all that.
I mean, Saks Fifth Avenue announced that it is leaving. Like all of the big flagship stores are closing there, and I think it's going to be nothing but banks. Because there was already like where like Top Man, like the right on the corner of Pearson and Michigan, right across from Water Tower.
Yeah.
Water Tower is basically empty. That's like a weird thing. The building that was across there that had like H&M and Uniqlo and all of that stuff, that's going to be a bank. That giant Crate and Barrel turned into the dumbest Starbucks on the planet.
I've still never been there.
You don't need to go.
A friend of mine's a pastry chef there.
Great.
She's good, but it's still
That's
not enough
wonderful.
to bring me
No,
in there.
I mean, it's like, it's just silly. And, who needs a Starbucks that big? And
It's obviously still going, though. I guess tourists probably like it.
Tourists like it because there's nowhere else to go on Michigan Avenue now.
Yeah.
But we were down there, but you can be on Michigan Avenue and go to Looking Glass Theater. Looking Glass is one of my favorite theater companies.
I've always loved it.
In the city and in the country.
Yeah.
A lot of it is, we come, there are a bunch of Northwestern kids. So,
the physical theater.
It's the physical theater. It's the adapting of literature for stage. For a lot of it, they are one of the few theater companies that continues to do world premieres. It's crazy. And this show, White Rooster, is a world premiere written by Matthew C. Yee. It is a mash. How's the best way to describe it? Because it's an odd one. It's a quirky, strange play. It is Chinese folk tales mashed up with Western Americana and some music and puppets thrown in there.
Okay.
Yes, it's
Sounds like an interesting
got something for everyone. Yeah, and it is like a highly imagistic. A lot of like stories within stories kind of vibe that's going on there. The performances are great, are fantastic. There are a couple of actors who I'm like, you don't have anything to do. Why don't you have anything to do? Yeah, but it's like, it is definitely, if you are a theater lover and you love Looking Glass, they've already extended. They just opened
good for them.
and they've already extended it.
That's a good sign for them.
Yeah, and it's, I don't know. It's like I'm still thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Which is something
thinking about it. That says volumes.
That's really great. But it's it was great to go have like a date night with me and Jerry. Although he's sick right now, which was he's like, look,
sorry.
He's got this cold that won't go away. He's like, if I start coughing, I'm gonna have to leave. I'm like, okay, all right, step outside. And I'm like, but if you start coughing and you don't before Act 2 happens and you don't think that we can do Act 2, let me know and we'll leave. Fortunately, he made it through. He got it through. But it was cool. Like
Riccolo.
Yeah. It was Ricola. Yeah. But it was like it's kooky. It is definitely like I think one person described it as like a David Lynch film. Mashed together with "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou" and puppets.
And puppets. Okay.
Yes, so it is a strange one. Although I will say, like sometimes I hate going to opening nights, just because the interns or the younger people who are in. This is where I'm become old man Jenkins. Get off of my lawn. Yeah. They're a little too eager of an audience. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do know exactly.
I hate we were like. I'm like, but they didn't do anything yet. Why are you? It's like, and
we saw a show like that. It will remain nameless. That people were just going gaga for, but they were all their friends that were on stage.
Yeah, and I'm
we
like, wait, hey,
are you seeing the same thing we're seeing?
I know, but I also I understand that you want to support people and you're there to give great energy, but you also screw up the rhythm of the play when laughs happen in unexpected places and they're gonna have to hold for that. It's like. But so that was a little annoying. But David Schwimmer was there.
Of course.
Rick Bayless was there. All the so many of the Looking Glass
stars. Yes.
The Looking Glass folks were there. It was just wonderful to be out and about and to see. And again, hats off to looking glass who continues to do new work and to push the boundaries and to see like what theater is. It's kind of like I would love to see them partner with Manual Cinema.
Oh,
because there was a little bit of manual cinema kind of
With the
shadow
puppet thing,
puppetry happening throughout this, and I'm like, I would love to see a collaboration of those two companies
Maybe
to
they'll hear you
see
and do it.
and take notes.
Take notes,
There
folks.
we
If
are.
you're listening out in Chicago right now, Scott's giving you some
I've got
great ideas.
I've got gold here for you.
Got gold.
Theater gold
Theater
for
gold.
you.
They're on the
Oh.
phones right now making it happen.
They are. But on that note, we should probably take a break. But before we do that, this part about Chicago is brought to you by Team Hochberg. If you are purchasing a new home, you need to call Team Hochberg, your trusted local lender. Sally, Bob, and their newborn son, Gus, combined income of $200,000 a year. How much Gus puts into that? I don't know. They called to get pre-qualified. David answered their questions, introduced them to a realtor, and helped them secure a mortgage with a low down payment. Let's review. David pre-qualified Sally and Bob to purchase a home 4 months before their lease expired, introduced them to a realtor who located them the perfect home, and helped them secure a mortgage with only 3% down. So if you're purchasing a home and want to make the same outstanding service Sally, Bob, and Gus received, call Team Hochberg now at 855-563-2843 or visit 56david.com and Google Team Hochberg to read their 700 5-star reviews. Team Hochberg helped thousands of WCPT listeners, but they can't help if you don't call 855-563-2843 or visit that website you know and love, 56david.com. Lower.com, equal housing lender, NMLS 1124061. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, there is more Out Chicago right here on WCPT Heartland Signal.
Welcome back. I'm Kim Hunt with Affinity Community Services. You're listening to Out Chicago on WCPT.
Welcome back to Out Chicago. Scott Duff here, along with Ellen Miller, just rolling along. Oh boy, what a giant poop parade the world is right now, thanks to the dum-dum in the White House.
Mr. Nasty, I'm calling him Nasty Man. He's a nasty man.
He's just rotten.
So
He is rotten to the core.
Rotten
He
to the
is like,
core.
ugh. He's just rotten. And all of it's so very clear that these dum-dums, wannabe alpha males that are running the show, air quotes, running the show, just kind of trying to keep up.
It's frightening.
With all of their like mishaps that they keep stumbling into. It just shows that they have zero plans or any real clear objectives for this stupid war they unnecessarily started with Iran. You mean you've got oil prices up? I think I heard today that they are up 79 cents a gallon in a month.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, great. It looks like boots on the ground are going to be kind of almost inevitable. Ding Dong is realizing that Iranians aren't able to rise up and take over the regime, as this regime kills people who goes and protests. Yes. And now he's putting out a call for, like, we need other countries to come in and step in. And other countries are like, wait, what?
Yeah.
You're the one that wanted out of NATO.
Yeah.
You're the one, like, what are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
It is just a disaster that is going on there. It's just a huge mess that is happening, and it seems to be all to distract from, again, the Epstein files. Hello, Epstein
Or
files.
as Jimmy Kimmel calls it, the Trump Epstein files.
The Trump Epstein files that are happening. Like, hello, what's going on with that? I mean, this is all just weird, sort of, it's just a mess.
Yeah.
It is just a mess. And again, I'm tired of people over there who are over, like, throughout in the MAGA world who, like, all of a sudden become, like, they are really, really up to speed with all of the nuances of all of the political issues that are happening in the Middle East. It's just Chef's kiss. How wonderful. It's costing us so much money. I thought we were America first. Isn't that what's going on here? Why aren't we using that money to give people, I don't know, health care, or I don't know, bring down grocery prices?
It's a crime.
Or help with housing, help with things that really, really affect Americans and what's going on here. But no. We just want to have
Well, yeah, and then their sons are investing in drone companies and all of the warfare, and you know, just the shades of Halliburton when Cheney got us involved in the Iraq War. It's a few people at the top getting rich on the backs of Americans, and we lost 6 beautiful lives. I could cry just. I looked at Jake Tapper has been posting the biographies and the pictures of the airmen and airwomen that were killed this week, and it's heart-wrenching. These people trying to serve their country, do their patriotic duty in a war that did not need to happen, because he had a feeling about it. I just have a feeling about it.
Too.
Yeah, I have a feeling about it, him and the war. And it's just, here we are again. Here we are again, and no end in sight. We cannot trust, as you said, the brain trust. There's no brain.
There's no brain.
There's no trust.
None.
There's none of it. Hegseth is a moron. They're just the worst of the worst that are in charge of our country right now.
Again, it's
Top
like they
to
are
bottom.
wannabe alpha males who
Yes,
think
they
this
are.
is a video game, and they aren't realizing how much they are messing with the global economy when it comes to oil that's going on, and then what's going on here in America. Like they just want to blow things up.
Yeah.
Video
game.
and also, if we are ever in doubt that we are in a fascist regime, there are reports coming out that the FCC is saying, like, if you, to like the legacy media, that if you are, if the White House is, if you are broadcasting news that is unfavorable of this war or that challenges this war, then the White House does not find favorable, you could possibly lose your broadcast license because of that. Now, state-controlled media, I don't know what's going on that. But most importantly, though, before he will sign any piece of legislation, Ding Dong announced early last week that he will refuse signing any legislation unless the SAVE Act is passed and it comes across his desk.
And it's not going to get passed, from what I'm hearing. It's not going to get passed.
No, because it is ridiculous.
It'll hurt. Think about how many Republicans in his red states are running around with passports. And the kind of ID
and birth
that they need.
certificates.
And birth
They're going to be
certificates.
going on that around here.
He's and then, as somebody said, when it doesn't pass, he's setting up. Well, the 2026 election was rigged.
I know, and he is. Well, he's again. He is about a month early in starting that whole thing, because usually he starts rolling out talk about election fraud. Usually in about April is when he starts saying, like, it's rigged. It's going to be totally rigged. Everything is rigged. It's a fraud. We can't believe it. Blah 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 blah, blah. All that stuff. So now we started that earlier because he realizes like how much he is tanking. The American people do not like it. They do not like him, what's going on there. But what's also very, very interesting about the SAVE Act, so what we're doing with the SAVE Act, as you probably know, it's the Safeguard American Voter Eligibility Act. You would need to require proof of U.S. citizenship to register and to vote in federal elections, and impose stricter photo ID requirements at the polls. So we're talking, you need a birth certificate, you need a passport, you need, I don't even think if your real ID, if that counts for everything that's going on there, but like 50% of Americans don't have a passport. They don't have those things, or they have them readily available.
Right.
But according to the Brennan Center for Justice, more than 21 million eligible U.S. citizens lack ready access to passport, birth certificate, and roughly half of those Americans just don't have a passport. And it's really going to affect young voters, low-income Americans, rural residents, voters of color, and anybody who has changed their name that does not match their birth certificate, and all of their passports and everything. But one thing that's also really, really interesting is how Ding Dong has attached 2 new things onto the SAVE Act, which is all about prohibiting trans women and girls from competing in women's sports and restricting gender-affirming care for minors to be included in the bill. So, because voter fraud? What?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, they have so much in common.
It's so unreal. Again, they're using the trans community as a weapon to help get some sort of dumb legislation passed.
Because it worked so well in the last election when they ran those millions of dollars
Yep.
worth of horrible propaganda, ridiculous lies in swing states that Elon Musk paid for, and it worked.
Yep.
Because they stoked the fear with false narratives, and lo and behold, they saw, wow, that's a winning formula.
It's a winning formula. But let's remind folks out there that out of the 500,000 student athletes, there are 10 trans athletes.
Yeah.
10. Okay. Let's also remind that according to the American Immigration Council, a review of Heritage Foundation data found 68 proven cases of
68.
non-citizens voting in the U.S. election
68.
for more than 40 years.
68.
Out of the 1 billion votes cast in that period. So that's basically incidences below 0.0001%. Clearly, voter fraud is running
But
rampant.
you know what? If you interview some of these his MAGA base, it's all about the people. All the immigrants are voting illegally. Facts escape them.
Yeah. Well, I know that, and there's I'm trying to stay off of social media. I'm glad I'm doing it because there are some I still have people that I went to high school with in conservative Missouri who were like, I don't get it. I mean, you need an ID to drive a car, to fly in a plane, to buy alcohol. I'm like, well, none of those things are a guaranteed right for you within the Constitution.
True, that's a good point.
People don't need to be on planes. They don't need to drive cars. They don't need to buy booze.
Alcohol.
It's not their right.
That's right.
To do that. It is your right to vote.
It is your right to vote.
If you are here,
and
if you are a citizen.
that obstructs that right is anti-American and anti-democracy.
And it's a freaking poll tax that's happening. You have to pay to vote. If you don't have a passport, you need to go through that process, or would have to go through that process, which is what, $185?
Yeah, at least, yeah.
Right now, that's a lot of money to a lot of people right now, especially when $185 will basically buy you milk, eggs, and bread.
Yeah.
And so right now that is what they are focusing on. They want this SAVE Act to go through, and they put on these two anti-trans little part they tacked onto it, which, by the way, didn't pass the House. So if it goes to the Senate, they would have to amend it. I believe Dick Durbin this week was like, can you tell me when is the last time that the Senate has amended a bill? When asked about these questions, and they were like, oh yeah, we haven't done that. There we are. But it's it involves when you, in order to for trans folks who have changed their names,
right,
for married women, some men, who have changed their names and everything, to update your identifying documents. It can involve court filings, fees. Some states, a judge's approval. In some states, they've passed law that forbid people from changing their gender on their identity documents. And the State Department has limited how sex is displayed on federal documents like passports. Yeah. A spokesperson, Alan Morris, director of policy for the National LGBTQ+ Task Force, in a statement said, right now, because trans communities are so under attack, we are seeing where more people are either pausing the process of updating all of their documents, or they're not even going through with the process out of all fear. We also have some folks who went through the process of updating their passport to their name, and the government literally said no. They rejected these passport applications. And tell me that's not restricting voters.
Yeah, that's what it's about. That's what it's all about. I am, our young friend that was over last night, our former tenant, she said her boyfriend, who is conservative, but he doesn't like Trump, all of his friends who are military are starting to hate him, which is, even the ones that supposedly liked him and voted for him. I mean, it was encouraging for me to hear that people are thinking for
like
themselves.
I said, the tide is turning
Yes, I
a
think
little
it
bit,
is.
but what damage is going to be done,
Well,
and that is why it
that's
is
the
most
scary part.
importantly to show up to vote.
Yes.
And so with that, we're going to go to a break because we are going to be speaking with a candidate who is who's trying to fill Dick Durbin's seat in the U.S. Senate. I'm so excited to be speaking with Congresswoman Robin Kelly, who will be joining us on the other side of a break. So please stick around. You're listening to Out Chicago right here on WCPT Heartland Signal.
Hey everybody, this is Tanya Richard from Tanya's Take, Race Culture and the Culture of Race, and you are listening to Out Chicago, WCPT.
Welcome back to Out Chicago. Scott Duff here, along with Ellen Miller, rolling along. Hey, just a reminder, you have until March 17th to cast your vote for the in the Illinois primary, and one of the most highly contested races is to fill Senator Dick Durbin's seat in the Senate. That obviously was the thing when I called him a senator, Dick Durbin. He's in the U.S. Senate.
yes,
That's funny how that works
yeah,
out.
it's
There we
amazing.
are. And I'm very excited right now. Joining us now is one of the candidates, Congresswoman Robin Kelly. Congresswoman, welcome to the show, and thank you so much for taking time out today. I know it is crunch time for you.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Thank you so much. I'm running around to different St. Patrick events.
Oh, good. We
I know.
appreciate
All
you
right.
being with us.
All right.
Thank you.
Hydrate. That's all I got to say. Hydrate.
I am with water.
Congresswoman, I just want to start our conversation with what I ask every candidate who is running for office. Why run?
Why run? Because, I've been in Congress 13 years.
Yep.
I absolutely love my job. I absolutely love serving the people. I had the privilege of serving the 2nd District, and now I want to do what I've done in the 2nd for the entire state. I was the party chair. I worked for the treasurer. I was his chief, so I've served the state, but I want to do more for more people because we all do better when we all do better.
Our audience is largely LGBTQ Chicagoans. What kind of issues are affecting LGBTQ people that are, you think, the most urgent at the federal level right now?
Well, the issue is affordability and healthcare, no matter who you are. My
Right.
district is urban, suburban, and rural, and I hear it. People are being squeezed and struggling while the president and his family are just getting richer and richer.
Yeah.
But I worry about the trans community in particular because of the different pieces of legislation, that different states and federally that people are trying to pass. I worry. After what happened with Roe v. Wade, what will happen with marriage equality? That's how we have got to at least win the House of Representatives. That we think we're going to win that one, going into November. Very, 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 very important. But LGBTQ community faces what I face as a straight Black woman as far as affordability, health care, homelessness, housing, how vets are treated, especially in that community.
But sticking with the trans community for a second, we were just talking about how the SAVE Act, which Ding Dong says that he will, I'm not going to sign anything until this comes across my desk. And he tacked on 2 anti-trans provisions onto this thing that did not pass the House. How do you square that circle?
Well, because of the Senate, whatever passes the House, they cannot get things passed in the Senate unless Democrats join in, and Democrats did not join. Maybe Fetterman did. We never know.
Wow, that guy.
But, yeah, that guy. But otherwise, they don't have the votes. That's why he's trying to change the number of votes that you need. But that's ridiculous. It affects the LGBTQ community. It affects women. Women need to, 70 million women will be disenfranchised because if you don't have the same last name, as when you were born. And I mean, if you get your birth certificate and if you took your husband's name, then you won't have the same last name. So that will disenfranchise. The idea that you have to get your birth certificate or passport costs money, and everybody, again, affordability, can't afford to, just run and get their passport or their birth certificate. And then even if you did that, when you go to vote, you still have to have different registration and not your driver's license. So they are making it so hard because he's trying to steal election, the midterm redistricting, the nationalization of votes, going into Fulton County and looking at, voter who's registering, and not only Fulton County, Georgia, but other places also. We have got to be vigilant, and, people have got to speak up if they see, feel, hear, witness any voter suppression.
Yes, Congresswoman, absolutely. You said you have served in Congress for 13 years.
13 years next month.
I know, and thank you for all of your service, especially all of your service you've done for folks here in Illinois. You've been so strong with anti-guns and all other different kinds of legislation. How would you say your experience in the House has prepared you uniquely to take on the role of senator when we go out to the polls on the 17th?
Sure. Like we said, almost 13 years. Of my 13 years, I've only been in a majority 4 of those 13 years.
Wow.
So I know how to work across the aisle.
Yes.
I passed legislation under Barack Obama, Donald Trump, believe it or not, working with my Republican colleagues, and Joe Biden. Most of the things I've passed have been in a bipartisan way. And you can talk about, I'm going to bring the Illinois blueprint. D.C. ain't Illinois. It is not blue. It is not veto-proof houses or anything like that. You have to learn how to work with everyone. I never give up my values. Never, never, never. But where I can work together, my district is urban, suburban, and rural, the biggest Democratic district. I have 4,500 farms. They don't look like me or vote like me, but my farmers like me because if you're mine, as I say, if you're my constituent, you're my constituent, and I try to lift all votes to the best of my, the best of my ability. And I will bring all of that, my relationships, and what I've been able to do. So many of my colleagues support me, so many. Some can't say it out loud, but so many support me because they know the work I do. They know I'll be a great partner in the Senate.
Yeah, I can only imagine that your time in Congress can only be an incredible asset. You understand the machinations of how the Senate works and how the whole how the legislature works. Yes.
And I know people in the Senate already, many people, because many of them were my colleagues, in the House. So, and all that helps. All that helps.
And Congresswoman, apart from your experience in Congress, what sets you apart from your competitors right now?
Good morning. I have worked on every level of government. So I know every level of government. Also, I do the work. I have integrity. I do the work that needs to be done. I walk the talk. I'm not afraid to say, sign on to block the bomb. I wasn't afraid to say when asked, yes, I thought it was genocide. Maybe it didn't start off like that, but that was the result of it. I haven't been afraid to stand up, speak up, or show up. And I'm unbought and unbossed, and I'm transformative, not transactional. I think that's the difference. I mean, I'm not trying to buy the race, which I feel my of the two strongest opponents are trying to do that. I've spent time doing my job, not raising money.
And we thank you for that, because how refreshing it is today to have somebody saying, you are all of my constituents are my constituents, not blue voters, not red voters. You are all of them. And that is leadership that I think we need, especially during this crazy time.
We could talk about, I'm going to fight, but you got to have accomplishments. You can't just fight. People are sick of us fighting. They want to get things done. They want to see progress. And that's what I'm about, progress and getting things done. And sometimes you can't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. Yes, we need so much. In the richest country in the history of the world, everyone doesn't have health care. We still have too many homeless. We still have too many people hungry. Minimum wage should not be at $7.25. That is ridiculous. We need to invest in our environment.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much work to do. And even when we take over Democrat, we can't go back to business as usual. We got to get, we just can't rest on our laurels. We have to do immigration reform. We have to do more for the LGBTQ community, for the homeless, for people that don't have health care. It wasn't great when we were in charge. We have to make it better.
Amen to that. What gives you the most hope right now for what's going on in American politics?
I think that, when Kamala and Trump ran and we were saying, we got to save our democracy, I don't think that people quite understood what we were talking about. We weren't as clear maybe, or, you have to break it down. And I think that now, people understand. And when you look at, the No King's Day protests and the amount of people involved, that's what gives me hope. Young people involved, that's what gives me hope.
Mm-hmm.
And also, all the special elections we won, the Democrats have won mostly all of them. We kicked butt November 25 election. I mean, we won in places, Mississippi, Georgia, places we
Texas,
don't win in.
yeah.
So, that has jumping up and down. Prop 50 passed in California, hallelujah. But we can't let our foot off the gas. We can never let your foot off the gas,
Well, and you haven't been letting your foot off the gas for the last 13 years when you have been serving everybody in Congress. And you, again, having somebody who understands how Congress works and has acting real relationships in there, I think it only be an asset to what you are going to offer.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I know right now we are in crunch time. I know as we're getting ready to head to the polls on the 17th. Do you have any upcoming events? I believe you're in Lakeview today.
Yeah, I'm on the South Side now with the South Side Irish stuff, and then I'm going to the North Side, and tomorrow I'll be at a bunch of polling places, and Tuesday also.
Stay safe with all that bunch of Irish stuff.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you. Well, I'm a Kelly.
Yeah,
Oh, that's true.
That's true. Yes, you're part of the group.
That's my people.
Oh my gosh, Congresswoman Robin Kelly, thank you so much for joining us today. Best of luck, and for more information, head to robinforsenate.com if you want to find out more information about her platform. Congresswoman Robin Kelly, thank you so much for taking time out today. And I just want to remind you that WCPT's election night coverage begins Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central. Patty Vasquez, Richard Shue, and Jonas Esposito will be anchoring the broadcast with special guests, live updates from our reporters, candidate call-ins, and big speeches. Listen on WCPT820.com and tune in or watch the live stream on the WCPT's Facebook page and the Heartland Signal YouTube page. WCPT's election night special is sponsored by Fazio Insurance, an independent insurance agency serving residents and businesses in Will and DuPage counties since 1953. For more information, call Paul Fazio at 815-727-2611 or at FazioINS.com. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, it is the second hour about Chicago right here on WCPT Heartland Signal.
I'd like to welcome you to WCPT AM's Out Chicago. Think of us as Sunday brunch with your gay best friends. Now please welcome your host, Scott Duff.
Welcome back to the second hour of Out Chicago. Scott Duff here and Ella Miller rolling along.
Yes, we are rolling.
I'm still celebrating Liza's birthday on the inside of my heart.
Duff.
Liza with a Z, not Lisa with an S, because Lisa with an S, because yeah. Oh, I probably can't sing anymore of that.
Yes, you
We'll
can.
have to pay.
Oh, we won't.
Girl, Liza needs her money. We got to give Liza her money. Yeah,
She's doing fine.
She is doing fine at 80 years. 80 years young. I hate it when people say 80 years young. It's like, no. You've earned those years.
You've
I'm
earned
saying
those,
you can
that's
still
true.
be youthful, but like just 80 years young, like, ugh, stop it. Stop it.
Young at heart.
Yes, be young at heart. Have a childlike sense of wonder and
my-
curiosity.
that's my
Be a
mantra.
lifelong learner, like Liza. And be funny when she does her little oopsies, when she gets the dizzies on poop. Jason Bateman, the show.
Oh, Smartless.
No.
Oh.
That's the broad podcast.
Oh,
Arrested Development. She was on Arrested Development, and she always had dizzy. She would get dizzy spells and just fall over.
I didn't
Brilliant. It's comedy.
It's comedy.
It's comedy. And we're going to bring you some comedy and some art this hour. A little bit later on this hour, we're going to be speaking with the artistic director of Thompson Street Opera Company. They're kicking off 2026 with the world premiere of Off Nights at the Sometimes Cafe, which is a queer cabaret work by non-binary composer Dave Walther. We're going to be chatting with artistic director Claire DeVizio a little bit later on. But again, tonight
Yes.
is one of the high holy days in the queer calendar. It is Oscar night. We're talking gowns. We're talking clips. We're talking best actress. And I could not think of a better person to have on the show than actor, writer, comedian Alex Grelly. He was getting ready for the world premiere of his new show, Grelly Duvall, Best Actress at the Chopin Theater. Alex Grelly, welcome back.
Hey guys,
Hey,
how's
Alex.
it going? I've missed you. How have you been?
You know, we've been a little
We've missed you,
sad.
too.
We've missed you. We need to have some more Grelly in our lives, make our life a little more Grellyful and wonderful. Girl, well, first of all, congrats. I know you've already started performances of Grelly Duvall, Best Actress. For some people out there, for our listeners, who might not quite understand, like, who is Grelly Duvall? And what was the inspiration for this new show, Best Actress?
Well, Grelly Duvall has been going around at the city and performing around the city for about 11 years now.
I know.
Which is crazy.
Amazing.
Yeah, and it's really celebrating women in film, so why not just focus even more so on my favorite performances, my favorite female performances in film, and make it strictly themed and make it like a early 90s Oscar ceremony to boot. So like that's kind of what Best Actress is focusing on is my favorite performances of all time, with a 5-piece band and choreography and spectacle and puppetry and film.
What?
Yeah.
What? Oh my God! I love. Okay, first of all, your brain
And more.
There we are.
And more.
Like,
And more. Yeah.
one thing that always makes me so happy about you is you are definitely of the school more is more, which I just I live for, and the way that you started Grelly Duvall as I believe it started just you, but you have now created this network of artistic collaborations that you've been working with. Like you said, you've got a band that's going to be playing with you and all this stuff.
Yeah.
What is it? Has it been like getting this from the page to the stage this go around?
Exhausting and rewarding. This one is the biggest one we've ever done. It's upstairs at the Chopin, which has always been Chopin Theater in the heart of Wicker Park.
One of my favorite
I've
venues.
always wanted to, yeah, me too. I mean, I did a Joan Crawford parody movie with Helena Handbag there. God, I don't know what year, but it was a while ago. Like 2012, 2011, I think.
Okay.
We did Trog down in the basement about a troglodyte.
Oh, yes. Scott Ferguson directed that.
Yes, Alex directed that. And, I played like the failed science experiment daughter. I did my best Sherry O'Terry impression for that character.
And now you're upstairs in the big space.
I soared, and now I'm up on the big stage, and look where I am now. And we just wanted to, every time we do this show, you want to take it to the next level, and this one definitely feels like the next level. We just did our second preview last night, and been working hard. This cast is incredible, and we've been and the band and the crew. I mean, everyone is just working their asses, their butts off.
You can say ass. You can say ass. They say
You
that
can
in the
say ass.
Bible.
You can say ass.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Alex, can you?
And
Go on. Finish your thought. Sorry.
What were you going to say?
I was going to ask if you could favor us with some of the actors that you're going to be portraying. Give us a little preview.
Girl.
Yeah, I mean, we open up with a nod to Powell and Pressburger's Black Narcissus.
Mm-hmm.
So naturally, we're nuns. There's some Deborah Carr in there. There's some showgirls. I played Mary Williamson plays Gina Gershon. I play Elizabeth Berkley.
She's
naturally.
a riot. Yeah,
Of course.
And there's 3 looks and 1 number for me for that one. So that's a marathon.
Oh my
number.
gosh, yes, but of course it is.
Julianne Moore, and my favorite Julianne Moore performance, Safe. I forget her name, but it's her. She's the young nanny in Omen. One of my favorite roles.
I did it for
One
you,
of my favorite roles
Damien.
of all time. Yep, you got it, Scott. You booked it. Actually, can you do that part for me tonight?
100%.
He'll be there.
I actually took the night off so I could watch the Oscars, but I will be there. You're like,
I know. I cannot believe we're doing the show on Oscar Sunday.
I know.
know.
It's just so
Planet.
perfect for you. I mean, the stars are kind of colliding. So.
Are you rooting for anyone tonight?
Well, yeah, Amy Madigan. I want
Amy Madigan. Weapons was great.
I want Amy Madigan to win so badly because
I love Amy Madigan.
Girl, when I saw her when she first popped on the screen in that wig with that makeup, I watched her perform. Like I was sitting in the theater, I'm going, we are watching an Oscar-winning performance right now, you know. And one of the things that also makes me feel so happy about it too is that there is a comedic take on it, and the Academy always poo-poos comedy.
Yeah, that's true.
And I'm like, come on now, come on. But I gotta. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm so glad you said that because the show Best Actress doesn't just highlight. It does definitely highlight Oscar-winning performances, but it also highlights some of my favorite performances that are so underrated in the horror genre. Which is like I think some of the best, most underrated and beautiful performances. And it's like, it's crazy to me that like horror's they're just now considering those to be nominated performances.
Yeah, we had a little bit of a nod with Kathy Bates and Misery, you know.
Oh, that's true. That win.
And Jodie Foster with Silence of the Lambs, but that's not necessarily horror. I guess neither one of those are horrors. They're horrifying.
They're scary.
They're scary, intense. They're horrifying, you know. But okay, so in the Incredible Mind, like here's one of the things I was trying to explain to my husband last time, like, you know, so Grelly Duvall, you know, Alex Grelly, like, definitely a good witch. And the one thing that I love about her, Alex is younger than us, but has a very deep appreciation for all of cinema and specifically for, like, the queer canon of cinema that goes, like, you know, all the way back, as you were saying, the Black Narcissus. I also ran into a couple of people who have been collaborating with you on some of the video aspects of it. So
cool.
I'm very excited. Like I ran into somebody who was like, do I have old age makeup on? I just came back. I'm like, don't tell me. I want to be surprised. But for you, my friend, in your deliciously warped mind, what constitutes like a best actress performance?
Ooh, great question. Definitely one that makes me emote when I watch it every time. Gosh, I don't know. I think it's more like, I don't know that. I don't know that. I don't know how to answer that because
it's a broad thing.
It's one that I relate to. It's a character that is misunderstood, and is just, the performance of its time to me. I mean, my ultimate favorite performance kind of ends the show. It's Mary Tyler Moore in Ordinary People.
Oh. I was going to ask
and
her.
she lost to Sissy Spacek, and it's just, I think it's the most beautiful performance
Yeah, she was
I've
fantastic.
ever seen on film. And it's such a cool performance to see because we're always used to her being so perky and so not perky, but like so comedic and so happy and then we see her be this foil and it's so captivating.
So true. Any others that come to mind?
One that we're not doing is that I really wanted to do. No, let's talk about ones we are doing.
Okay.
I'm playing. I don't know why, but I gave myself this task. But Casey Alfonso, it put some one of my favorite choreographers in town. Choreographed this beautiful dance. I'm playing Cassie in Chorus Line, which has always been a dream role.
Yeah.
And so the musical theater actress in me comes out, and really it comes and that's another dream role. Just because it's just about a woman like that has the dance inside her, and the dance never dies.
I know. Because all she ever needed was the music and the mirror.
Oh, and the mirror, baby.
And the chance to dance for you.
We're doing a song that's more modern than the Chorus Line track. So it's a really good, exciting song. So I don't want to give that away.
Nice
but
All right,
teaser.
yeah. I mean, look, I don't want you to give away. I do, I know, because you need to go see Gurley Duvall, Best Actress. It's at the Chopin Theater. It's gonna be super fun. Because where I am, I'm hoping, I would love to know what did get cut. Because I love going to a movie where you can actually see the moment where they're going for the Oscar. One of my favorite moments of all cinema history is Neely O'Hara. It's Patty Duke as Neely O'Hara in Valley of the Dolls when she's drunk in that alley and she's having her moment of
oh my God,
lion ball. Neely O'Hara. It's just, I'm like, she wanted that Oscar so bad she could taste it.
so bad.
Alas and alack.
So bad.
Yeah, I know. So
I
what?
love how the necklaces.
Yes.
The necklaces go.
It's
between
impossible
each
to
breath.
make it bad. Hey, what I can say. Yeah. Yes.
I know. I mean, Valley of the Dolls. I mean, that did not make the cut. I really wanted to do Annette Bening in this Los Angeles production of Agamemnon, or I forget which Greek tragedy it was. But that got cut, clearly. I just think Annette Bening's a genius.
Yes.
I was blessed to be born on her birthday.
Come on now. I was born on Maggie Smith's birthday.
Oh, okay. Oh, jealous.
I know. So I can
Maggie Smith.
fiddle with the back of my earring like nobody's business.
Yes, she's so good. I love her and everything. I mean, I would love to play old Wendy someday.
Yes.
Or tomorrow. You never know.
You never know. But so
you
when
never know.
No, go ahead.
I'm trying to figure out which other ones were cut. I'm trying to think. There was just this show is probably. I've been writing it since lockdown, so there was probably 600 ideas in my phone.
Wow.
And notes, and now it's dwindled down to probably 30, 25 in the show. We've referenced so many movies in the show, so there's a lot of Easter eggs. There's a lot going on.
And I
Sounds
personally cannot wait to go see Gurley Duvall's Best Actress. It's now playing at the Chopin Theater, and it's going to run through April 12th. And look, you did take it to the next level, literally. You went from the bottom level to the top level, to the main level.
True.
Look at that. You are leveling up, Alex Grelly.
Brian.
Hopefully you'll be able to enjoy some Best Actress moments tonight, or at least record them or whatever. But I'm so excited to come check out the show. Alex Grelly, Yeah, I'm telling you, if you want a really good time, if you are a movie buff, or if you aren't a movie buff, if you just want to see talented people being absolutely ridiculous and absolutely wonderful, make sure you check out Alex Grelly's Grelly Duvall Best Actress. It's at the Chopin Theater.
This is the show for you.
Yeah, it is the show for you and more.
Who are you rooting for in the Best Actress category tonight? I really want Rose Byrne to win, but I think it's going to go to Shakespeare in Love too.
Yeah, I think it's Jessie Buckley.
I think Jessie Buckley for Hamnet.
I want to see it. I haven't seen Hamnet yet.
You know what? I really think that she deserves it.
Well, because she does that whole thing where, not to poo-poo Jessie Buckley, but she does the thing, she makes you cry. She makes you cry. And it's easy to make people cry, and it's harder to make people laugh. That's all I'm going to say.
Says a comedian.
I mean, if that isn't a plug for Best Actress, Scott, I don't know what is.
I know, right? There we are. There we are.
There we go.
Girl,
There we go.
There we go. So for tickets, make sure you go to ChopinTheater.com, and that's theater with an R-E because they're fancy that way, because Alex Grelly's on the main stage this time. Alex Grelly, girl, come on now. Love the hair. Hope you win. Okay, baby?
Hey, thanks so much, Scott. Thanks so much, you guys. I've missed you. It's so good to hear from you.
It's so wonderful to see. Can't wait to see the show.
Take care.
Well.
Okay,
Break
bye.
legs.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.
I'm telling you, I'm so very, very excited about this. It's just,
it's delicious.
It
sounding.
is delicious and everything. And what else is going to be delicious? Hey, Monday on Driving It Home, Patty Vasquez will be joined by Belle Kedebig, Democrat running for judge in the 20th Subcircuit of Cook County, Illinois House candidate Demi Palachek, along with activist David Hogg, Susan Smetek, candidate for DuPage County Forest Preserve Commissioner, and much more. Driving It Home with Patty Vasquez, weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Central on WCPT 820 a.m., the Heartland Signal website, TuneIn, YouTube, and Facebook. And also check out Patty has been knocking it out of the park with all of her reels that she has been posting. Yeah. Follow her on social media and the Patty Vasquez Show. She's doing the good work out there. We are going to take a quick break, and we're going to talk to other people who are doing the good work out there. We're going to be speaking with the artistic director of Thompson Street Opera Company on the other side of the break. So please stick around. You're listening to Out Chicago right here on WCPT Heartland Signal.
Hey, this is Mark Patton, and I'm from Scream Queen, My Nightmare on Elm Street, and you're listening to Out Chicago.
Welcome back to Out Chicago. Scott Duff here, along with Ellen Miller, rolling along. Mm-hmm. Hey, we want to remind you that on Monday, on Choose Views, Richard Choose guests are Amy McDonald, host of the Foolish Optimist with Amy McDonald podcast, and Mike Nellis, a Democratic strategist and host of Endless Urgency with Mike Nellis. That's Choose Views, weekdays from 6 to 8 a.m. Central on WCPT 820 a.m., Heartland Signal website, TuneIn, YouTube, and Facebook. But right now, on the Out Chicago, we are very excited. I'm very, very excited about this because it has to do with the operas and the queer things. Thompson Street Opera Company kicks off 2026 with the world premiere of Off Nights at the Sometimes Cafe. Brilliant name. A joyful queer cabaret work by non-binary composer David Walther. Joining us now is the artistic director of Thompson Street Opera Company and the show's director, Claire DeVizio. Claire, welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for joining us today. Can you tell our folks a little more about the mission and the history of Thompson Street Opera Company? Thompson Street Opera Company.
Yeah, of course. So Thompson Street was founded back in 2011, but the company has been in Chicago since 2016. And we perform exclusively works by living composers. So we're only working on pieces that have been written recently by people who we can still talk to and engage with. And in particular, especially in the last 5 to 6 years, we've become increasingly focused on producing queer stories and being a place where queer and trans artists in all dimensions of the opera world can really be themselves in the rehearsal room, can tell stories that reflect their own identities, and can just engage with the art form in a way that feels authentic to them.
And how much different is it to see, Claire, an opera in a small venue as opposed to where we're used to seeing it at the Lyric?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's definitely very different. A friend of mine used to say that he feels like it's actually a different art form, because if you've been to the Lyric, you're often very far away. You don't really see people's faces on stage, and it's very beautiful, and there's a lot of kind of spectacle and big, impressive stuff going on. But there is less of the kinds of intimate storytelling that you get with theater. And so what we try to do, especially, and I think a lot of companies that work in small spaces like to do, is really prioritize how the performers are communicating with the audience. So the experience of being an audience member in a space like that is you feel really connected to what's going on the stage at a different level. And in this piece in particular, it takes place in a cabaret cafe. We have some cabaret table seating for the audience in addition to general admission theater seating. So you're really in the experience of the show, physically, in addition to just being able to see what's going on at a more intimate level.
Yeah.
Fun.
Well,
Yeah,
speaking of, what is going on the off nights at the Sometimes Cafe? What is the story behind this, and what has the process been of getting it to the stage?
Yeah. So the way I describe this piece is poignantly unserious. And
Thank you.
I think.
Thank you. We need that right now. And also, I think opera needs that right now, so you can enjoy opera and not have to feel like it's a thing.
Yes, I totally agree. And I think we are all, when we're going to the theater, we're looking for an experience that feels rewarding emotionally, in addition to oh, these people are very talented. And so the show itself is essentially a tour of this particular little cafe, as told by a narrator who is also the pianist. So the fantastic Kingsley Day, who has been working in the Chicago scene since probably before I was born, is playing the piano for the whole score and also narrating the show as it goes along. And he tells the story of a particular week in the life of this cafe where some new people joined the little family there. And at a very base level, the story is about a bunch of weirdos finding their chosen family, and the kind of delightful things that happen during that process and the messy things that happen during that process, and how people are able to express themselves in different ways in a place where they feel safe. And so it's a delightful little show that has a lot of great tunes. Every single person on stage is singing and acting their face off. And we're also working with drag performers who have roles in the show. There are 2 roles in the story that are written for dancing drag performers.
Okay.
So Yeah,
Look,
it's a lot of fun.
May I ask where is the Sometimes Cafe? Like, what city is it located in?
What a good question. Yeah, we were talking in rehearsal about that, and we kind of decided it is in the Midwest, and it is like a small city close to a big city.
Okay.
So we were like, is it Racine, Wisconsin? Is it,
Aurora.
Rockland? Is it
Rockford?
Aurora, like Rockford, yeah. And so a couple of the characters, it's said in their narration that like they came from a sheltered upbringing, or they came from like a small rural place, and now they've like moved to this place and are trying to like find the place that they belong. I will also say that we are setting this piece in the 1990s. So the narrator is speaking kind of from the present, telling this story about like what happened at this time.
So like a memory opera.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah.
So as you are getting ready for the opening of Off Nights at the Sometimes Cafe, that's going to be at the Bramble Arts Loft in Andersonville, with you and the non-binary composer Dave Walther, did Dave have singers in mind or artists in mind when they were composing? Like, what has been the collaboration between the singers and the music? And are there challenges for writing for trans and non-binary voices?
Oh, yeah. I mean, so our cast, we don't have any singing performers in this show who are like on hormones.
Okay.
So there isn't, like, I personally am a trained singer who is also on testosterone. So like I am working on my own time in that world, like figuring out the idiosyncrasies of my own voice. But in this show, all of the singing characters are, regardless of their gender identities, we have sopranos, a soprano, a tenor, a mezzo, and a baritone. And as for what the composer was thinking about, the process, we have we choose our works every year through an open call for scores. And so this piece was sent to us, and we loved it. We chose it, and then we also have an open audition call.
Okay.
So Dave was not directly involved in the casting process.
Gotcha.
But we've been corresponding by email, and Dave is going to be here for the premiere this week. In terms of like the collaborative work, one of the things that we did do is because some of the drag performers who we are working with, Delta Badhand, who is a fantastic queen and a great dancer, is a trans woman, and some of the language in the original script was written assuming that the drag performers would be cis cross-dressing performers. Mm-hmm. And so we worked with Dave to and with our performers to say, like, okay, let's pull out the places in the script where like this does not align with like who you are as a person, and we'll kind of adjust as necessary. But Dave said when this piece was submitted to us that they're super open to having like pronouns changed for any of the characters as necessary. And so it was a very easy process to just kind of chat with the performers about how they saw these things changing so that we can just fit that into the flow of the show.
That makes sense. When someone says to you, hey, I've never been to an opera before, what do you tell them to get them excited about a show like this?
Yeah, honestly, I feel like I say this a lot about some of the pieces that we do, but I really do think that this is a great first opera to go to, especially because piece, it is more of a cabaret work for operatic voices. So this show in particular has like songs and then a scene, and there's less kind of like constant music from start to finish. But I think in terms of like what to expect, I think the style of singing that you're going to hear might be, different than what you're expecting. But the music, especially in this piece, feels very much from the tradition of like American cabaret, like Great American Songbook, kind of like early 20th century operetta in a like through a contemporary filter. And so some of the music is going to feel very familiar, and some of the music is going to feel a little bit less familiar. But I think what they should expect is to see a lot of talented people doing the thing that they do best. And the piece, the other benefit in terms of first-time operators is this show is only about 70 minutes long.
Come on now.
Tell him that. That'll
That's
get him in.
Come on, 70 minutes.
It's my favorite length, 75.
Come on. Come on, one and done. I love that.
90 or less.
I know.
Perfect.
Okay, so I feel like I would be remiss if, it is the Academy Awards tonight, and one of the Academy Award nominated people, Timothée Chalamet, had some very choice words to say about opera and ballet. Which also made me cackle. There has been a big backlash with a lot of opera companies too. You use promo code Timothy and you get 20% off. I love it.
Oh God!
But what do you say to what is it about opera? Because clearly it is a thriving, alive art form that has been around for since Jesus was in diapers. So what is it about opera that hooked you in, that is so appealing to you?
I think for me personally, there is something that I feel physically in my body when I listen to somebody singing in a way that uses their whole body.
Yeah.
And that's true regardless of style, but I think there is something kind of superhuman about the way opera singers are able to create a sound that is both enjoyable in a small theater and also can be heard in a space the size of the lyric.
Right.
And so the kind of the experience of the kind of sympathetic vibration in my own body of that feeling of singing, and also I think the music itself, everyone has a type of music that they like. I like a variety of music, and the thing that catches you regardless of what that music is for you is how the emotional content of that song or that melody or whatever is translated and heightened into an experience for somebody listening.
Yeah.
And I think like every singer that I know, there are certain kinds of opera that I love and certain kinds of opera that I do not care about at all. And that's fine. And there are many different types of opera for everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that whole idea about the sympathetic vibration. What? That's... Write that down. Write that down. There's a new opera there. Yeah. So what... I love the fact that you're also looking at new opera as well and contemporary things. Might I direct your attention towards Memphis Opera, Opera Memphis, who just did the world premiere of Pretty Little Room, which happens to be a queer story that is absolutely true about two young women in the late 1800s who had a relationship and they killed. Oh, by the way, my husband wrote the libretto. But anyway, but you should check that out. But what is how is it important? Like what import is it to have queer voices being at the center of opera?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, I mean, as we know, like, queer people have been in the center of a lot of arts communities, like, since the beginning of time. But I think especially in opera, one of the other reasons that I have stuck with producing work and we've really kind of zoned in on this as being kind of one of our main focuses, is the opera world specifically just is incredibly rigid in terms of the gender binary, in terms of like compulsory heterosexuality. Like, there's just, especially because most of the opera that you are going to see on stage, like across the country, is not new and is not, is, you know, stories that were new and immediate for people at the time, in a lot of cases, but aren't necessarily as, it takes like a little bit more buy-in in some cases to be like, oh yes, I understand like why this still matters to me, and the I think the experience of having and I'm sure also like we've all seen in a variety of media, like, queer characters being written by straight people are often a hot mess. And so, like, being able to, like, tell any story from the perspective of somebody who understands, like, what this is like, is a really important, I think, like, lens to look at something through. And then also, like, having performers who also understand the identities of these characters.
Yeah, definitely.
100%.
Really, like, contributes to their ability to, like, communicate the script, like, to the audience.
Well, yes. Well, listen. Toy, as you head towards opening, and if you want to experience that sympathetic vibration, make sure you check out Thompson Street Opera Company's world premiere of Off Nights at the Sometimes Cafe. Begins performances on March 19th at the Bramble Arts Loft in Andersonville. For tickets and for more info, you can head to thompsonstreetopera.org/events. Claire DeVizio, thank you so much for joining us. And again, toy.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, we are going to take a quick break, and when we come back, it is the final thrilling show-stopping moments about Chicago right here on WCPT Heartland Signal.
Hi, this is Renee Taylor. You're listening to Out Chicago, WCPT 820.
Welcome back to Out Chicago. Scott up here and Ella Miller rolling along. Hey, tomorrow on Live, Local, and Progressive, Joan Esposito will be taking your calls and talking to media critics Mark Jacob and Jennifer Schulz, USA Today columnist Rex Hupke, and U.S. Senate candidate Robin Kelly, who we spoke to earlier on the show. And if you want to gospel. Listen to Live, Local, and Progressive weekdays from 2 to 5 p.m. Central on WCPT 820 AM, heartlandsignal.com, and tune in. And if you want to relive this episode and many more, as we are About Chicago, we are available wherever you get your podcasts. And we also have featured interview pages as well. Also, just as a friendly reminder, because we've been saying it a lot, the primary is coming up on the 17th, just in 2 days. So WCPT is posting all of our 2026 candidate interviews at heartlandsignal.com/candidates. So, yeah, there we go. But in the meantime... Oscars. How are you celebrating? I'm celebrating the traditional high holy day of Mexican food and taking down my Christmas tree.
I saw that you're taking your tree down.
Yes, my tree is finally coming down.
I am celebrating with homemade pizza. It's a pesto something. I don't know. We got it on one of our food things. We'll make 2 of those. And we have 2 friends coming over, Janet and Ellen, both listen to the show.
Come on, Janet and Ellen. I met Janet. Wait, no.
You met Ellen.
Ellen. I met Ellen. That's
Ellen.
at the
yes,
Magic place.
At the Magic, yes,
yeah.
Magic Lounge.
Magic Lounge.
And we've tried, Scott, to watch, with 10 best pictures. Honestly, I haven't seen all of them.
Me either. Girl, I am woefully behind on all of my movie viewing. You guys get lucky because you got the SAG-AFTRA stuff.
Which isn't always lining up exactly.
It doesn't line up necessarily, but you get a lot of them.
We saw a lot of them. I've seen Marty Supreme, Hamnet, One Battle After Another, Sinners. But I
didn't see Sentimental Value.
Didn't see that, and people love that one. Train Dreams, I hear, is good. I mean, they're all, but it's such a dystopic kind of, the ones I've seen. The One Battle After Another is.
Yeah, I think it's going to come down to One Battle After Another and Sinners.
It's got to. I mean, and
Hamnet might be like a dark horse coming through there, but I don't think so.
I don't think so. It's going to be one of those 2, I think, and I am happy with either one. I was cringing because I do not like horror. During Sinners, I was literally
That's hard because it's a vampire movie.
I know,
basically.
and I didn't know how I thought it was going to be voodoo, and maybe I didn't realize, there is a lot of gore, and when I was talking about it with our friend last night, there's some movies where you do not care about any of the characters, like Marty Supreme, for one, didn't really have any care for these people.
A lot of anti-hero stuff.
Yeah, but it's weird. But in Sinners, I cared for these characters, and then I watched what happened to them, and I was almost in tears. I was like,
oh no,
and I'm like, why am I watching this? I don't like this. I was like a little child, and that's my inner self. I didn't say it to Kathy. I'm like, I'm hating this right now. I'm hating this right now. But of course, after the movie was over, there's a cameo by Buddy Guy at the end. I'm not giving anything else away about it, who he represents, who is of course a Chicago blues icon, worldwide blues icon. But I kept thinking about it, and after I got through the scary, I really loved the movie. One Battle After Another, I loved. So I think it's going to be One Battle. I'm going to go with One Battle After Another.
All right, I'm gonna go with Sinners.
Okay.
Just because I am wildly optimistic.
Okay, good.
There's also, if you have a chance, today. To go so every once in a while, once a month I'm on with Joan and Rebecca Ford, and we talk about culture and movies and arts. And Rebecca Ford, who is a movie critic, and that's also worked in the movie industry, she is a Black woman. She sent me this great podcast from the New York Times about One Battle After Another, and it's about how some Black feminist revolutionaries are calling this a Black feminist 911. And it's a very, very interesting about the sexualization, the stereotypical, you get hints of characters with, I don't remember her, something Beverly Hills, with I don't have the name of the actress in front of me either. I didn't pull that up on there. But who's nominated for Best Supporting Actress? But she's just very, very highly sexualized, and they keep talking about the first 33 minutes of the movie. How they keep talking about how
Teyana Taylor.
Yeah, Teyana Taylor, whose performance is fantastic.
Yeah, she is.
But just in terms of how it was written, how I come from a history, a long line, and they talk about a lot. There's a legacy of revolutionaries. but we never know what that legacy is. And we never go deeper into that. Instead, we are dealing with hypersexualized, there's all this stuff. It's
true.
a really interesting listen. It's the New York Times, the podcast. What is the podcast called? Cannonball with Wesley Morris. Highly recommend checking it out because it was just was giving new perspectives.
Like the informative is before ahead of watching it.
Yeah.
Oscars, yeah.
So I don't know. I'm pulling for Sinners. We all know I'm pulling for Amy Madigan in Best Supporting.
I didn't see the movie. I didn't see Weapons.
Oh my gosh, it is Weapons. Literally, there have been a few times where I'm sitting in a movie theater and I'm looking at the screen and I go, "We just watched an Academy Award-winning performance." I do it every once in a while, like sometimes on SNL. I'll be watching, like, we just watched a best. We got an Emmy Award right there. Like you can see it.
Yeah.
Her performance is so special and so cuckoo bananas. Like she's just wonderful. So I'm pulling for her.
I felt that way about Sean Penn in One Battle After Another, but Stellan Skarsgård has been the winner so far.
He's old,
and he's got to give it to him. What about Best Actor?
I hope it's Michael B. Jordan.
I do too.
I mean, he got to do like 2 roles.
I'm with you on that.
He got to do two parts.
He deserves to win that
You
one.
know, although Leo was great.
Leo was great.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
That.
But
Ethan
I
Hawke was great. If you saw Blue Moon,
I did not see Blue Moon, but I've heard
they
wonderful
said he could
things.
Be a dark horse. I don't know.
And but everyone's kind of saying Timothée Chalamet.
Because he didn't. Someone said because they thought he deserved it for the a Complete Unknown last year and didn't win it because he was so young. And
he's
blah, blah,
still
blah.
so young.
He's so
young. He's gonna
He's
got
gonna
plenty
be
of
around
time
for years. How about Best Actress? You already said you want. No, you didn't say.
No, I did. It's gonna be what's her butt?
Rose Byrne.
No, it's gonna be Jessie Buckley.
I think Jessie Buckley.
It's gonna be her.
That performance.
But like, you know what? Add a girl, Kate Hudson.
Yes. You know
I know
how
you
I felt
loved it.
about that movie.
You loved that movie.
And I loved her performance in it.
Here's the thing. Kate Hudson had the dubious honor of knocking it out of the park on her first film with Almost Famous.
Oh, yeah.
She was remarkable.
Yes.
And unfortunately, that has been the benchmark that she's had to live up against her whole career, and she hasn't really made it. So apparently this is also up there. So it's going to be Jessie Buckley, but like hats off to Kate for atta girlness.
Yes.
There we are. And we hope that you are enjoying this rainy day. You can go out and celebrate Liza Minnelli's birthday, as well as the high holy day of the Oscars. I want to thank, and go out and vote. Make sure you vote.
Vote.
I want to thank our guests, Congresswoman Robin Kelly, Claire DeVizio, and Alex Grelli. Devin, you are amazing. We got Henry back there today. Thank you for doing all the stuff over there. Ellen Miller, enjoy this rainy, drizzly
Thanks.
day.
I'm glad you're off to
Me too.
enjoy the Oscars.
And I'm
We'll be
Scott
texting.
Duff. And until next week,
Stay proud.